In today's video, I discuss why you should think for yourself. Cue the intro. Hi folks, welcome to the channel. My name's Andrew. I'm a part-time eBay and Amazon reseller and a mental health advocate. And today I thought I would tackle a slightly controversial subject which may upset a few. It's not intended to do so, but it is something that I think needs calling out and needs discussing. And that is the advice, I use that word loosely, that I get seen given out quite regularly, alarmingly regularly, on YouTube and on other social media platforms as well. I've gone with YouTube because we're on YouTube, and you need to give a bit of a title that entices people, so that's what I've had to do because that's what YouTube forced me to do. But yeah, basically I've been watching a lot of YouTube content this week in the evenings, and I've got to be honest, I've seen some shocking advice given out. Making YouTube videos is hard work. It is a lot of effort, and I really do appreciate the people that make that content and put it out, and it's really hard to go on camera and do that. I know because I do that myself, and I give out advice quite frequently on YouTube, and I'm no better than any other YouTuber in doing that, to be honest. The problem that comes is when we start talking about stuff that isn't quite within our specialist area, as it were. So our specialist areas, if we are doing reselling, for example, will be the ability to be able to look at an item and identify value in it that others haven't seen, and hopefully make money from that item as a result. And there are people who have fantastic expertise in sourcing clothing, for example, fantastic expertise in coins, toys, games, all that kind of stuff, a real knowledge bank that they've built over years. And hearing them talk about that and share that knowledge is a privilege. And it's great. We can learn a lot from those people. I think most of them would be the first to say that even though they know quite a bit, there's a lot that they don't know about those fields, and that they're constantly learning new things and expanding their horizons as a result. And all of us resellers who are doing YouTube and have businesses, we have an expertise in how to manage our business and what works well for that business and what doesn't, and we have some awareness of some of the barriers and issues that we may face in running a business. So we'll know things like about completing tax returns. We'll understand that there's legislation that we have to abide by in terms of accepting returns. We will understand how to create a listing on eBay from scratch. Some of us will have a really good understanding of how to do search engine optimization and get that listing to the top of the ranking on eBay. I'm using eBay as an example because it's the platform I'm most familiar with. Some of us won't. Some of us will create terrible listings and it will take ages for our stuff to sell, or it will sell purely because we've got the only item anyway. So what we do with the listing, as long as we've got the basics right of describing what it is and putting a photo on, several photos, then we'll get sales. And so we might think that we're really good resellers because of that, but actually if we were in a more competitive field where there was a lot more competition for items, we might fail badly. I'm terrible, by the way, at search engine optimization. It's something I really need to get better at because I'm not very good at pushing my listings to the top of the best match rank, and therefore I rely on promoted listings to do that far too heavily instead. In an ideal world, I would be able to create listings that don't rely too heavily in promoted listings, because the quality of the listing is good enough that it gets to the top of that search ranking anyway. But we digress. What I want to talk about is the areas that I know I'm not an expert in, and then I know that most of the YouTube community aren't experts in, and most of the social media and reselling community aren't experts in, because we haven't done the years of study, hard work that is required to become experts in these fields. And there's a couple of fields in particular. The first is financial advice and accountancy. I am absolutely useless when it comes to accounts. I understand the basics of some of it and what I should need to do. I know that I need to pay tax if I declare a profit, and I know the amount of that tax can be adjusted by the expenses that I incur, which obviously affects the profit as well. So even explaining that, I've not done a fantastic job. So that's how much of an expert I'm not. If I see somebody not doing something right, therefore I might say, I think this isn't quite right, you might want to speak to an accountant. And I will usually point them in the direction of my good friend Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks chap, who has spent years studying accountancy, runs an accountancy firm as a, I can't remember what his official position is, but he's a chief accountant there, the big boss at an accountancy firm. He has a real field of expertise, an area of expertise here where he can share knowledge that can help others. And I think even Aaron would be the first, though, to say that, you know, his knowledge of accountancy is not complete. There are still things he needs to learn. There are changes that come along to legislation, etc., that he needs to be aware of so that he can best advise his clients financially. I know one of the things that he does is he actually tries reselling himself and his partner. You know, they try out eBay, they try out Amazon, so they can understand those systems, those services, and how they manage things, so that he can better advise his clients. But the key thing that makes him able to do it and give that financial advice is that years of training, that years of education, of becoming a chartered accountant, that allows him to be an expert on that. If you watch a YouTube video giving advice from somebody who runs their own business, does their own accounts, but hasn't actually got that years of expertise in becoming an accountant and actually understanding all of the legislation and the minutiae of detail that's involved, and take financial advice from that person rather than the chartered accountant, you're taking a big risk and a big gamble there. The advice they give you might be accurate and might be right. I'm not saying it isn't, but what I would do if I was you, and what I do myself, is I would take that advice and say, okay, that's told me something I don't know, or something I need to learn and know a bit more about. So therefore, I'm going to speak to an accountant. I'm going to have a look on Google at the relevant legislation. I'm going to go on gov.uk, look at the information that HMRC publish, and I'm going to consult an array of sources before I take action myself. If you just go off what you heard on YouTube from that non-accountant, you may do something wrong. And trust me, if you do, and HMRC catch you out, you saying, but I heard it on YouTube, is not going to save you from getting a massive fine or possibly worse consequences. So my plea to everyone is just to use YouTube, use social media as a pointer to areas that you should look in and consider, but don't take it as gospel. And one of the things that's really ground my gears this week, and something that I try and avoid doing myself, but I probably do it, and I apologise for this, for the circumstance in which I do, is when YouTubers or people on social media make factual statements without showing or demonstrating the either the legislation that sits behind that is informing that statement, or without just being honest and saying, look, actually, do you know what? I'm not an expert in this field, in this area. I have consulted people who are. This is what they've told me, so I'm going to convey that information, but go and do your own research as well. In other words, caveating it. So I did a video recently where I shared about not being a wolf in sheep's clothing, basically, I called it. because that was a particular quote that I'd pulled out from a government information leaflet. And in that video, I was very clear to say that I was only talking about my own personal views that I had formed after reading the relevant legislation and speaking to experts. But I was also very clear that people should go and do their own research. So although I was making categoric statements about what people should do, and the video title was quite categoric as well, I was also advising people that they needed to go and do their own research. So I have no problem with people going on YouTube and making that categoric statement if they then say, but I'm not an expert here, you need to go and look yourself. But a lot of people don't seem to be doing that and are giving advice without caveating it in that way. I'll give you another example. I've seen on YouTube yesterday somebody offering out saying that they're going to start offering courses, paid courses to people on setting up their businesses, which is fine, great. I know people don't like that, it's a controversial subject, but ultimately there are people who appreciate that level of guidance and are willing to pay for it, and so somebody's always going to satisfy that demand. No problem with that whatsoever. The issue I've got is that this particular individual, I'm not going to name and shame them because I've commented and I've shared information with them which hopefully will make them think, but this particular individual is offering to help people set up their businesses, but is trading on a private account on eBay, but is making content about stuff they bought to resell. So they and their business, if we put the law to one side and we just talk about eBay's terms and conditions, they and their business are violating the terms and conditions of the marketplace that they are selling on. Is that a good example to follow? I don't think so. Am I a good example to follow? Probably not. But because there's probably loads of things I do wrong because I don't know everything. I find out all the day about new things that impact me as a business that I had no clue on, that have been around for 20 years. So, I'm learning all the time. I'm definitely not the example to follow in that regard. What I will do, and what I will try and do on these videos, is if I become aware of something, even if I don't fully understand it, I will try and share that knowledge as a pointer for people to go and do their own research and to think for themselves. It's a crazy thing in reselling that, and I think it's the ease at which it can be done, is that people will set up businesses and start selling stuff on whatever platform it may be, but not actually speak to anyone outside of the reselling community about what they should be doing, even though we know that businesses have things like legal departments, account departments, etc., because it is such a complex area that they need to actually have that resource on hand to be able to help them when they have issues. But yet, if we have an issue, we go on Facebook. We don't think of speaking to an accountant necessarily about it. Some of us do, some of us don't. We don't think about, okay, perhaps I need a commercial lawyer here to speak to get some free legal advice from. We don't look on the gov.uk websites at the free advice that's given out by bodies such as HMRC or Business Education Innovation and Skills. Might have changed the name recently. We don't go to the small business forums that run in our area and talk to the people there. I'm being general, by the way, here, folks. There are definitely people who probably do all of these things. So if you do, fantastic. Don't take offence to what I'm saying. I am vastly generalising. But we don't reach out to all those other networks of people that are running businesses because, that's a different business to what we do. So what? You can still learn massive amounts of things from them. We still have to comply with the same legislation. We still have the same customers, Just because somebody buys from Tesco's doesn't mean that they're totally different, or the corner shop down the road doesn't mean that they're a different person to the bloke who just bought a book from me yesterday. It's the same people. So why can't we learn from them as well? Why can't we look into and get their expertise to help us form decisions? So spread your networks. Reach out. I speak to people on small business forums and groups all the time, and the issues that they're encountering are often the same ones that I'm encountering in my business. And if I just went and spoke to another reseller about it, sometimes the advice I get is not as good as the advice I get by going to somebody who's actually not a reseller themselves, but is running a business and has encountered a similar type of issue. So just bear that in mind when you're watching YouTube content, when you're seeing posts on social media, when you're panicking or feeling anxiety about something, which I do quite a lot. Just bear in mind that there are lots of bodies, lots of organizations and lots of professionals out there that can help and support you, and that actually social media isn't necessarily the only point of support. So yes, by all means, watch a YouTube video on something, learn from it, but go and look at all those other array of information sources that are out there as well, because that will help your business grow. That will help you improve. And don't just do it about legislation and stuff that could cause you costs, but do it about things that can help your business grow. Do it about marketing. Learn about marketing from other businesses. Learn about search engine optimization, how to get your stuff higher on Google, because that's all eBay are doing when they're putting in item specifics, when they're asking you to do stuff. They're just trying to get your listing on the front page of Google so somebody clicks on it on Google and buys it. When you understand that, you'll understand why eBay are introducing the really annoying changes that they do around item specifics and stuff. And you'll suddenly start thinking, actually, do you know what? Rather than pushing against this, I need to start working with eBay on doing this and getting this information in, because that will actually get me the sales I need. Because oddly enough, eBay want you to sell stuff. They really do. So try and work with them and try and understand what they're doing and the reasons why, and hopefully that will help grow and develop your business into a better one, and you'll be a far better business and a far better business person than I am. Trust me. If you've made it to the end of this video, thank you for watching. I apologize to anyone who may have offended with this content to an extent. But if you are a YouTuber that's going out making these general statements without backing it up and without caveating it to say you're not an expert, maybe just take a second to step back and think about that and the messages that you're portraying to your viewers, and whether there's a better way that you could do that and portray that message, because that's what I'm sat here thinking about and reflecting on myself now, and that's what I want to try and do in the future. I will get it wrong at times, but that's what I want to try and do. Anyway, if you made it this far in a video, thank you so much. Comment Easter egg below if you've made it this far, because I love to see random comments on the YouTube that confuse people. So let's comment Easter egg below, and thank you for watching, folks, and see you on the next video.